Ever feel like we're surrounded by stories of like these incredible prodigies, people who are just, born brilliant, destined for greatness?
Right. Like everywhere you look, it's child geniuses, overnight successes.
Exactly. Makes you wonder, like, is that the only way to achieve something truly amazing? Or is there another path?
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
We're taking a deep dive into some personal reflections we got from someone who really challenges this whole idea of exceptional talent.
And what's really interesting is that their journey, their insights, they resonate even if you don't see yourself as, a prodigy.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so powerful about this. Because, let's be honest, most of us, we don't exactly wake up feeling like Einstein, right?
Definitely not.
Huh.
But this source, they offer a really refreshing perspective.
Yeah, right off the bat, they say, I was an ordinary person who studied hard.
I love that quote because it
Yeah,
just cuts through all the noise.
totally. And it's so relatable. Like, it immediately made me think, okay, this is someone who gets it.
Right. They're not claiming to have some secret formula, some magical gift.
Exactly. In fact, they even go on to say there's no such thing as a miracle person, which I thought was really interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
Because it challenges that whole narrative we often hear about success, like it's some kind of predetermined destiny.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, if it's not about being inherently special, then what is it about?
That's the key question. And this source really seems to emphasize the studying hard aspect.
Right. They talk a lot about the importance of effort, of dedicating yourself to learning and growing.
And it's not just about like passively absorbing information, right? It's about actively engaging with it, pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone.
Totally. It reminds me of that concept of deliberate practice, where you're really focusing on specific areas where you want to improve.
Yes. It's about having that growth mindset, believing that your abilities aren't fixed, that you can cultivate them through effort and the right strategies.
And that requires a lot of resilience, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not always easy. You're going to face challenges and setbacks.
Absolutely. It's about having that grit, that perseverance to keep going, even when things get tough.
Which brings us back to the whole ordinary person idea.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to look at highly successful people and think, well, they were meant for this.
Right. Like it was just their destiny to achieve great things.
Exactly. But this source is basically saying, nope, I started from a place of normalcy, just like anyone else.
It's so grounding, isn't it? It reminds us that we often only see the highlight reel of someone's journey.
Right. We don't see all the years of hard work, the dedication, the failures they probably experienced along the way.
Exactly. But, you bring up an important point. While this source really emphasizes the power of hard work, we also have to acknowledge that not everyone starts from the same place.
That's very true. Things like privilege, resources, even just sheer luck, those factors can play a significant role.
Absolutely. Someone could have all the drive and talent in the world, but if they don't have access to the same opportunities, it's going to be that much harder for them to succeed.
It's that age-old debate, right? Nature versus nurture. This source seems to be leaning into the power of nurture, of shaping your own path through effort and dedication.
Right. But it's also important to acknowledge those external factors, those systemic advantages and disadvantages that can influence someone's trajectory.
Exactly. And it makes you think about how we define success in the first place.
Mhm.
Is it purely about individual achievement?
Right. Or should we also consider the role of privilege, of opportunity in shaping those outcomes?
Such a complex issue, and I don't think there's an easy answer, but it's definitely something to think about.
It is, and it kind of circles back to the source's main point about rejecting that myth of the miracle person. If we let go of that idea, what does it tell us about our own potential?
Ooh, that's a good question. What does it mean for how we approach our own goals, our own journeys?
And how can we not only leverage our own efforts, but also advocate for a more equitable playing field where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential?
So much to think about. But to wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway for me is that everyone starts somewhere. Hard work isn't the only factor, but it definitely plays a role.
And maybe, just maybe, it's in the ordinary and the everyday efforts that extraordinary things begin.
I love that thought. Okay, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.